What's going on, guys? Vulkan here, and last night's Game Awards were packed. We saw tons of new game reveals, we saw sequels, we saw TV series being revealed, so some of these were okay, right? But others really blew me away. They really blew me away, and I want to talk about those because these are definitely games that you want to keep your eye on. So let's go ahead and just jump right in, and I want to get things started with Evil West. So this is a new game set in the American frontier where a darkness has consumed the lands. And as one of the last agents in this top secret kind of vampire hunting institute, you're the last hope between humanity and whatever hell has kind of thrown out at you. Now the game features some really good looking combat. Really good looking combat. I get very big kind of Outriders and Gears of War vibes from the game. We see a lot of blood and gore splattered all over the place. The weaponry looks really kind of brutal and just looks good. And I just love the overall theme. It's kind of, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, is this Van Helsing? And then I went back and I was like, oh, this is like Evil West. It's a completely different thing. So it was really interesting. Now, they did mention that the game is co-op and you will be able to explore and fight together through a narrative-driven campaign. You'll be able to upgrade your weapons and your hunting tools, and then in addition to all of this, you will be able to unlock new perks to help kill things more efficiently. This doesn't seem like a looter shooter. This doesn't seem like a game that you're going to be able to run through multiple times. It seems like almost like a one and done type of deal. And overall, this one really caught my attention with the art style and the over-the-top combat. So right now, there's no release date for Evil West, so here's to hoping we see it next year, and also hoping that it's actually worth the wait. Now, the developer is Flying Wild Hog, who is responsible for Shadow Warrior, Space Punks, and Hard Reset, so they have a lot of heavy-hitting titles in their repertoire, so hopefully they bring over a lot of the stuff they learned there, and just push that all into Evil West and really make a game that is worth playing. So next up, I want to talk about Space Marine 2. So when this trailer first came on, I just tweeted, please be Space Marine 2, over and over and over again. I put that vibe out in the universe, and it answered my prayers and delivered. Honestly, I was really surprised. I was like, no, it's probably going to be like Dark Tide or something like that. And it's almost embarrassing to say, but the original Space Marine was actually my first taste of the 40K universe, because I don't play RTS games. So like Dawn of War, all of those things really just weren't on my radar. You know, I had dabbled in like Warhammer Fantasy, right? Before, right, with Age of Reckoning, MMOs. Obviously, I had Chaos Bane on my channel really long time ago, if you guys remember that. But the original Space Marine I really liked, and I'm glad that it's getting a sequel. So we don't know very much yet, and because of that, there's still a lot of questions left to be answered, like will it have the PvP system that the original one had? I actually enjoyed that one. It was really cool. It kind of had this like Call of Duty unlocking style system, where as you progressed, you unlocked new Space Marines or Space Marine suits. You unlocked new weapons, you could unlock new chapters that then you could put your Space Marines into. So overall, it was a really cool system, and I really hope that it has it again. Now, this one, again, does not have a release date, and it is being developed by Saber Interactive, who has worked on previous Halo and Call of Duty games in the past, so we should be in really good hands when it comes to the shooting aspect of the game, but I'm curious about the rest of it. So the next one is Nightingale. So if you liked Remnant from the Ashes, I think you're really going to like this one, because I got some seriously good vibes from this trailer. Nightingale is this shared world survival crafting game that takes place in a Victorian setting. So you might be like, okay, what are you talking about, Vulkan, right? Look at this, and then look at Remnant. You're crazy. They don't make any sense. They're not comparable at all. But hear me out, right? It's the combat and the art style that really drove the point home, as well as the kind of realm traveling, which we'll get into here in a second. Now, this is a first-person shooter, so it's different because it's not third-person. It has heavy crafting elements, and you're fighting all of these weird creatures from different dimensions. You go through this portal, and you travel to the Fey realms, and then you get stuck there, and you need to find a way back to your reality. So players are going to need to explore, build, and craft houses, farms, tools, gear, weapons, all of these things to survive. And because this is a shared world, you will see other players out and about. You can even party up with them to take on challenges and do all that fun stuff. Now, they did not confirm or deny that there will be a PvP system. I don't really feel like I got that impression that there will be. I think this is going to be more of either play it by yourself or party up with people to take on challenges, but not so much like Rust or Ark, where you're going to have people just griefing you all the time. So I don't think they're going to go that route. So like the last few games that we've covered, there really isn't a ton that we know about Nightingale yet. We know it's coming in 2022, and this is one I am really excited for. Like, it had so many things that really piqued my interest, and I want to see more from this game. So go out, sign up for the newsletter, and you could get selected for early access testing if that is something you're interested in. Next thing, let's talk about just a quick kind of point out there. Elden Ring got another hype trailer. Again, I'm very excited for this one. We didn't really learn anything new. We got to see like a cool fight scene, but the game is scheduled to release in late February. Switching gears a little bit, let's talk about Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga. So when Hellblade 2 came onto the screen, I was chatting with a friend of mine, and we were both completely blown away by the visuals of this game. They did mention before that this trailer was all gameplay. It was not a cutscene. It was not pre-rendered. It was not CGI. It was pure gameplay. Now, obviously, until we actually get our hands on it, I'm going to remain skeptical. But still, I mean, truly what it is, this game was very impressive. You can see how Microsoft's funding combined with Ninja Theory's talent goes a very long way. And beyond them kind of fighting a giant and, you know, kind of still exploring Senua's schizophrenia and things like that, there really wasn't a lot new in this trailer other than, hey, look at the visual fidelity that we're seeing here. Outside of that, that's really it. We know that Hellblade 2 is coming, no release date, but this was one that really made a lasting impression for the rest of the night with me. Now, just like Elden Ring, we also got a little kind of new tidbit for Lost Ark. So Lost Ark finally got a release date, folks. It finally got one. February 11th, it will be releasing for the western side of the world. The Founders Pack will get a head start of February 8th, so we can all start planning our vacations around that time. Now, I do have a video out diving deeper into the release date, as well as everything you need to know to kind of prep for the release ahead of time in a video that I posted previously. You can see that as either a card in the upper right-hand corner or a link in the description below. So the next one we're talking about is not a game, but it's a TV series. And this is something I've been waiting for a very, 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 very long time. And that is the Halo TV series being directed by Steven Spielberg. Now, this has been a rumor, right? It started off as like, hey, I think Spielberg's doing something with Halo. And then it was a confirmed project by HBO like 10 years ago. We finally have some actual footage of this thing. The series is going to be brought to us by Paramount Plus, and it will feature Master Chief fighting against the Covenant. So obviously this takes place in the past and not the most recent 343 games. We're going to see Pablo Schreiber featured as Master Chief. He's from American Gods. And then Jen Taylor will actually reprise her role as Cortana. So exciting stuff. We're going to see Cortana again, see Master Chief, all that fun stuff. The series is going to start streaming in 2022, and they're going to slowly release more information as we get closer to that date. Okay, so let's kind of talk about, we talked about Halo, so let's talk about Halo's former developer, Bungie, and what they are up to lately. So we knew ahead of time that we will be getting a new Witch Queen trailer, right? They're hyping up, like, Witch Queen's coming, don't worry, woo, we get a trailer. But what we didn't know is that it would be partially shot in live action. Now, I'm a little torn on live action video game trailers. Honestly, I think they're a little cheesy. That's probably because I was around when Resident Evil and Disruptor had them on the PlayStation 1, and it was very cheesy. It's very obvious. But anyway, I mean, one thing is for certain, right? The way they are hyping this thing up, Bungie is pulling out all of the stops when it comes to Witch Queen. This DLC better be the best damn thing that this game has ever seen. I mean, it needs to top Taken King, because if it falls short after all of this hype, after this very long ramp up and this really long announcement section that they're going through, it's going to be a disappointment. And I hope it's not. I mean, I love Destiny. It's so much fun to play. The gunplay is great. Bungie, as a developer, I've always enjoyed. So I really want to see this be successful. And the more I see coming out of this expansion, the more I want to get my hands on it. I love the kind of, they're flipping things on its head, right? Now the Hive has ghosts that they're able to use to resurrect, knights and all these other things. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they mold that into raids, how difficult that's going to be. I'm over the moon. I think it's going to be great, but at the same time, we've seen this kind of hype before, and it's led to kind of so I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Witch Queen is coming out February 22nd, 2022. Oh, and one last thing, they did confirm we will be going back to Mars. So Mars is back on the map, and I am ecstatic. Cannot wait to get back to that planet. So the last one I want to touch on is one that we've seen teasers for in the past, right? And that's Steel Rising. Now, Steel Rising is from the makers of Greedfall, and it kind of falls into that same sort of Victorian era, but this time around things are very steampunky. So you take the role as Aegis, an automaton that slices and dices through enemies, very kind of Dancer-esque, and you're going to be fighting against humans and other mechanical marvels. And they said that this game will be difficult. So be prepared for a Souls-like experience here, guys. I think that we will have some really kind of high difficulty coming with this one. Now, the game takes place in Paris, and they made sure to hammer home the idea that you will be flying all over the city. Rooftops to sewers, inside houses, outside houses. You're going to be all over the damn place. So this really feels kind of Assassin's Creed-y. I'm curious to see how far they take that feature. Now, overall, I'm still pretty skeptical about Steel Rising, but if they manage to nail the combat and the progression system through the game, I think it would be really cool because, one, it features a time period and a location that isn't seen in most games, and two, it features a main character that we don't really see in a lot of games. It's very unique all in all, and that's why it made it onto my list. So Steel Rising is coming in June 2022. All right, folks, so that is it. These are my favorite announcements from the Game Awards. I am very excited for a lot of these, skeptical but optimistic for some. But for the most part, 2022 is going to be stacked, at least the first half of it. And I want to hear from everyone else. What was your favorite announcement or your favorite game that you're looking forward to in 2022? Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been Vulkan, and I'll talk to you next time.
Sound off one and all that